Hello, I decided to do a video on Sarah Beauty Corner versus Nerdy Crafter. I know by then it's all been dealt with. There's really nothing else to bring up, but I just want to come to the come to the solution of where I stand on the whole thing, as far as just being an unbiased bystander. I used to watch Nerdy Crafter. I don't know, for some reason through YouTube's algorithms or whatever, that it stopped me from from post not posting stopped me from subscribing to Nerdy Crafter. But before then, because I actually forgot about her channel until Mariah Elizabeth, so got some things here. This is off of my Tumblr post that I wrote about the SBC Sarah Beauty Corner versus Nerdy Crafter. It's a very long-winded thing, so maybe I'll cherry pick through the whole thing, and maybe it'll be a concisive thing. But the too long didn't read. Statement says, I side with SaltE Crafter, and Sarah's argument falls flat because of several different factors. See, I feel very compelled to talk about this after watching Sarah's video as a response to Jackie's videos. At the moment, I'm actually I was in the midst of writing a paper on moral justice and legal justice and why I think they should coexist within each other. So I'm just gonna do this without worrying about people going, oh no, she's an SJW, because I'm not. Until my friend told me what that was, I really didn't know what that was. I was like, what the fuck is an SJW? And he's like, social justice warrior. And I'm like, oh, no. If I see BS, I call out BS. So, okay, however, I have to take a break from that paper, to make a rather long-winded, lengthy commentary review about this video. I don't want to dismiss either person's feelings, as they are justified in this case. I merely want to point out where they might be mistaken and give an overall review of how I think both sides might not be handling it in the best manner. I will be dissecting both Sarah's responses to Jackie's videos and likewise Jackie's responses to Sarah's allegations, Jackie's allegations towards Sarah, etc. I'm going to try to do this in an unbiased manner, as I always want to see both sides of someone's story before I make the final verdict. Not to act like I'm the YouTube courtroom or something. This is just a personal opinion on the whole matter. And honestly, without reading through this whole thing, I can tell you that I just think it was, on Sarah's video, I just think it was kind of dumb. First, if you're new to it, the synopsis of what happened was Jackie, or Nerdy Crafter, or in this case SaltE Crafter, took it upon herself to make a review solely based on satire and the fact that as a teacher she calls bull on this fooling insane university-trained educator. She was reacting to Sarah Beauty's Corner's video on 3 back-to-school DIYs. She took clips from Sarah's video and inserted it into her video criticizing these hacks. Sarah then holds Jackie's video because she believes that it is in violation of the copyright fair use. also holding onto the monetized earnings of Jackie's video. Jackie retaliates by posting a video claiming that Sarah is holding her video hostage because she believes it infringes on the fair use. Jackie states it's not in violation because it's commentary based on Sarah's DIY video and that Sarah is claiming she completely uploaded her entire video to her channel. She claims that Sarah is being unfair. Sarah responds that she's not being unfair, that Jackie took 30% of her content and re-uploaded it without her permission, and that violates the fair use copyright claim. Now here's the thing, I looked up on the YouTube rules that it's okay to take 30% of a video. I don't think that Sarah read through every single thing. Now that we're caught up on that, let's pick Sarah's side first. Let's pick through it and let me try to explain explain my my verdict on this. Sarah claims that Jackie took around 30% of her 21-minute and 2-second video. Upon further research, this is in fact allowed. You're allowed to take 30%. And honestly, 2102 was too long for that video. That's my criticism. She states in her video that she took 6 minutes 30 second of her content that she didn't give permission for Jackie to take to use in her React video. She takes clips from Jackie's video about why she doesn't believe she's in violation of copyright or fair use. Sarah dissects Jackie's video in such a way that it makes Jackie seem childish and rude. Sarah believes that for Jackie to respond the way she did towards her retaliation is holding on to Jackie's content and money, stating that she got attacked by Jackie's fans, such as threats, insults, and other negative comments on something her boyfriend and her worked on for weeks, then she changed it to months. She states she's not heard about Jackie's commentary, but rather that she thinks so much of her video that Jackie's commentary, but rather that she took so much of her video without asking, that she could have taken a lot less to make her point more coherent. She states that Jackie's video is entirely illegal and asks Jackie to take it down or use fewer clips from her DIY. Jackie denied her request as she believes that her satire and commentary meets the fair use qualifications. Sarah quotes the 4 factors of fair use, that being purpose and character of the use, commercial or educational, nonprofit. 2, nature of the copyrighted work. 3, the amount used, and 4, the effect of the use on the potential market. So, becoming unbiased to Sarah's outcries, I decide to look into her claims as to why it's infringing on her creative work. So let's get into it. First, the purpose and character of the content. Did Jackie's commentary and satire transform, add a new expression or meaning to Sarah's content? I personally believe it did. Jackie continually makes comments, reacts, and applies satire to Sarah's DIY hacks. She explains from a professional educator's point of view that if any of these hacks were applied to the classroom to smuggle or otherwise break rules, that they would be made a fool. That in a way, the kids, students, parents who fork out money for supplies that are often very expensive, and they are very expensive. I don't even have kids, but just looking for like my nephews and my nieces and stuff, they're so expensive, it's ridiculous. even if you go to the dollar store, you're not going to get the best supplies you can, but it's just like, anyways, that's besides the point. Let's see, often very expensive are disrespected because their children are ruining their supplies that they spent hard-earned money on to assist their studies. That a large amount of sugar will distract the students from learning correctly, especially so if you have ADHD. Just sometimes the amount of chemicals that go into those sugary treats can cause some really adverse effects. So I actually agree with her. From a student's point of view, you kind of need something that'll get you through the day. But I'm a nerd. I actually enjoyed, like, my English classes. I didn't really enjoy history, but that's just on me. Did Jackie add value to the original by creating new information, new aesthetics, new insights, and understandings? I believe that Jackie did. The pieces of information she provided that those children might not gain proper education because they're following these hacks instead of studying. That parents are essentially wasting their money on school supplies because their child will only destroy them. I'm going to interject that from my experience in customer service, the children that watch YouTube DIYs, crafting, and vlogging are very impressionable. They are often between 5 and 8, and they idolize the people who make the content. In my experience of work, I actually had a 6-year-old who pretended she was vlogging in front of me, and her mom was like, "Oh, just excuse her. She's being one of her favorite YouTubers." So I'm like, "Nah, I understand." She's the second is some of my family members. They look up to the YouTube gamers. They think they're awesome. They're like, "Oh," and so oftentimes I'll hear them, screaming like their YouTube personalities that they like. I don't believe that new aesthetics were applied, except maybe if we apply it to the criticism of Sarah's video. Then yes, I believe this might be a weak argument. Jackie gave new insights on how her fellow co-workers and parents might feel if they got an evaluation stating that their child is destroying their supplies to break the no food rule. And those rules are there for a reason. Because food can be a distraction. Especially if you have ADD, the crinkling. As far as me, like, my experience of crinkling, and made it hard to study. So, just, like, I feel like I'm probably, her fans, Sarah Beauty Corner's fans are gonna be like, "No, I can do it. Maybe you're just stupid." Like, no, they had to put me in a separate room because all the clicking and the was too much and I couldn't concentrate. The first rule has been followed to a point. Of course, as the article points out, this is subjective. However, I believe by using the fair use guideline, she's followed the first rule. Rich Stim gives an example that I'm going to cite from his blog, and I gave sources, I promise, which I believe both content creators are taking from. Rich Stim states, in a parody, for example, the parodist transforms the original by holding it up to ridicule. At the same time, a work does not become a parody simply because the author models characters after those found in a famous work. Purposes such as scholarship, research, or education may also qualify as transformative uses because the work is the subject of review of commentary. Jackie did ridicule it, sometimes harsher than maybe she should have. Like, I actually winced at some of her comments, but, it is what it is. She also didn't take on the exact likeness of the characters, only their actions, with an undertone of mocking the actions of the characters. Second, the nature of the work. Sarah's content is a parody of Jackie's profession, and Jackie's video is a parody of Sarah's content. Though Sarah's video wasn't directly pointed at Jackie, nor was she bullying Jackie when she was portraying teachers as dense and aloof. Likewise, Jackie was not bullying Sarah. She was only showcasing as to why she thought these hacks were pointless. And they were. So the nature of these two works is both informative. Sarah the student, teacher, seems to be mean and don't understand the pains of hunger and needing the sugar fix. Jackie the teacher, student, should focus on their studies, not their stomachs, if it becomes a distraction when there are healthy alternatives like oranges or apples. Looking at this subjectively and wanting to point out neither of their feelings are wrong, I can understand why Sarah might have felt attacked. However, the nature of Jackie's commentary is not as nefarious as Sarah likes to point out quite a lot in her response video. Third, the amount of substantiality of the portion taken. According to Rich, the less of the content you take, the better. That your case may be excused from a copyright strike, but quite on the contrary, as the subject is strictly as parody. Rich states, this rule, less is more, is not necessarily true in parody cases. A parodist is permitted to borrow quite a bit, even the heart of the original work, in order to conjure up the original work. That's because of, as the Supreme Court has acknowledged, the heart is also what most readily conjures up the original for parody, and it is the heart at which parody takes aim. I've sourced that as well. So in this case, Sarah's argument is somewhat invalid in this rule. Jackie did in fact follow this guideline, because Jackie's video is, as she states, parody and commentary. And my review of Jackie's video is that it is satirical commentary. She took, to go off track of this, she took her experience of being a teacher, and she put commentary onto satirical commentary towards Sarah Beauty's corner. I always want to say booty corner. Sarah's beauty corner, or crafter's corner, or whatever it is, that she's, that her hacks, they wouldn't cut it, and they wouldn't. I think, honestly, she was just butthurt. Finally, the effect on the potential market. Did Jackie's satirical commentary damage Sarah's potential earnings? I think Sarah's response video did that. I'm looking at Sarah's social blade, and no, it didn't. It didn't even hit it one bit. That is why I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to give you a pretty good verdict on this, and it's in favor of Jackie. Anyways, she has 9 million subscribers and counting. This argument is also invalid. 30% is such a small portion of the video that it would barely affect any of her income, if at all. So reading Rich Stim's article, there's also more information I'd like to cover in this review. He points out, of course, that my review will contradict itself or conflict with the rules stated above, but that I have to make subjective judgments, and I have, actually. My judgment in Sarah using the 4 factors of fair use to support her complaint overruled. Because Jackie did, in fact, follow the full 4 rules, as her video is a parody, if not considered constructive criticism in the form of her commentary. Jackie never claimed, even by monetizing it, that she owned Sarah's entire video content. She only used so very little of Sarah's content. I think in order for Jackie to ever avoid this kind of backlash, oh yeah, this is my personal opinion on the whole thing, how next time it could be avoided, she could ask for permission, and if the creator says no, they say no. Move on to the next video. You're very creative. I know you can think of something. Let's see. Even, Jackie should ask for permission even if she thinks she shouldn't have to. Jackie is neither above other content creators or below them. I also think Sarah needs to step off her high horse a little and stop acting like her content is the bee's knees, because the truth of the matter is it's just like any other crafting. Sorry. It's just like any other crafter's video. Like 5-minute crafters or Baby's First DIY or whatever that one is. On Facebook, on YouTube, there's so many crafting people and crafters videos that it's actually kind of a moot point. So I feel like she needs to get off her high horse and realize that, your content isn't gold. Yes, you work hard on it. You and your boyfriend work hard on it, but it's not like it came from a golden horse's butthole. Okay, so just calm down. It's not aesthetically pleasing if high saturation dorky faces are your aesthetic. I definitely think Rich Stim's measuring fair use is excellent for using in arguments, but you have to step outside your own critiques of Jackie's work and look into your own. Sarah, you are not above being criticized by other content creators. As I watched your response video, I felt like you had a higher-than-thou attitude towards Jackie, that you thought her content was lazy and poorly executed. Your response video was very redundant, and you kept mentioning how you're not a saint, no YouTuber is a saint, that you think that it's extremely lazy that content creators take portions from other creators to make viable reviews on their videos. You said that it's completely irrelevant to you that Jackie made commentary, but that she took too much footage when she took the allotted percentage. You continuously make contradictory arguments towards Jackie. That Jackie said you were punishing... That's my dog. That said you were punishing her, but that you weren't. In the beginning, you mentioned that you had 3 options. Hold her video to ensure that she never does that again. That is precisely what a punishment does. It stops you from doing something you conceive to be bad. That you're not annoyed that she made a review that she took too much of your footage, which is a complaint, and in your video you're clearly irritated. You both say that 20% is allowed. You're both mistaken, it's 30%. For Jackie, if you would like my constructive criticism, it's dangerous out there, take this. I think it's a link to something to help her out. I feel Jackie was entirely within the guidelines of fair use upon the evidence received, and that Sarah's response falls flat. My verdict remains the same from my comment on Sarah's response video, that I believe that Sarah might be a little bitter from Jackie's satirical commentary. I feel if this would be taken to court, that it would probably be dismissed if fair use is the only thing that Sarah has. If Sarah thinks she can bring in the other factors like intellectual property and Creative Commons. IP doesn't apply here because Sarah's video doesn't benefit society. It is, in my opinion, in my point of view, strictly for entertainment purposes. The only thing in Sarah's video that was CC was the music. I was going to dissect Jackie's video, but as both videos are so closely intertwined, I feel as though that would be beating a dead horse. The only advice I would give SaltE Crafter is to ask, and if they don't give a butthurt response and give the green light, you're good to go. Because she, I think she just went about it the wrong way. Both creators, but I side with Jackie. So, a long-winded post, a long-winded video, there's my opinion. Thank you for watching. If you like this, like it. If you want to see more of my content, subscribe. There's not much, but maybe in the following, days there will be, now that I'm getting back on my, of things. So, thank you for watching. Bye.